This boy has been with me for 14 years. He and I started together down in them honky-tonks in South Alabama about 14 years ago. And if you don't believe it, we got scars to prove it. He's a good boy, though. I'll tell you something, though. Every place we go play, the girls come to me and they want to know if this boy has got one of these Tonys or Lilts or Richard Hudnuts or something like that, because his hair's so curly. Well, girl, it's all his, but it ain't natural curly, I'll tell you. We left the United States and went over into Arkansas last year and played for a couple of days. We was booked there 2 days, and we got caught in Ball Knob in a storm. They had a flood. Brother, I'd like to wash that whole place off. Me and the rest of the boys sitting up on top of this little old hotel trying to keep from getting drowned, but ambitious, you know. He had to go down and look around, see the town. He got out and got wet, and that head wore up that way. It's been that way ever since. He's a good boy, though. He comes from a little town down in New Brockton, Alabama, called New Brockton. In fact, they thought so much of him, he run for mayor down there last year. If he's there this year, he's going to run for the city limits, and I'm hoping he makes it. They sure getting scarce, these good steel men. This boy's sort of like my right arm to me. Don Helms, there he is. Make him welcome. Well, I want you to meet the child of the outfit now. He ain't been here too long. He's been with us about 5 years. I like to talk about him because his ears turn red all up in. Look like a neon sign or something. He's a good boy, though. Everything he steals, he mails it straight home to his mama. He don't waste no time. Man, we had him out in Texas last week. We played, where did we play? Corpus Christi, Beaumont, Houston, Memphis. That's where it was. We played 2 days in Houston. He got married the weekend before we left. And he like to lost his mind. I ain't never seen nobody go through what he went through. Walk up and down the hall of that hotel and just wring his hands and cry, pull his hair. I had to pay for 4 or 5 walls he butted his head through. I called him in the room. I said, now look, Junior, I said, we got to talk this thing over. I said, this button these holes in these walls is getting too expensive. I said, now you sit down and get on that phone and call her up and talk to her and you'll feel better. He said, I'd do that, but he said, I just can't afford it. I said, why can't you afford it? He says, you don't pay me that much money. I said, well, write to her. He said, I just don't even feel like going to the post office. I said, well, you write it and I'll mail it. Boy, he sat down and he composed her a letter I wished you could have seen. It looked like one of these here summer deluxe editions of a Citizen Roebuck catalog. I started at the door with that thing. He said, whoop. He said, I ain't through. I just thought of something. I brought it back, and down at the bottom of the last page, he put, P.S., darling, I'm sending you a check for 1,000 hugs and kisses. Now, that really done the boy good, I'll guarantee you. I carried that bundle on down to the post office, and they charged me $9.67 to mail it to Nashville. But it was worth every penny of it. He had more vim, vigor, and vitality than the whole bunch did for the next about 4 days, I reckon it was. But he ain't felt too good since Friday morning. We was in the Rise Hotel there in Houston, Texas. All of us live in the same room. We can't afford a room apiece. That costs too much. We laying in there, and the bellboy goes kicking on the door, and we all jump up in our night shirts to see what's going on. He got a telegram for Jerry Rivers. And he gets the telegram, we all peeping over his shoulder to see what it is, and it's from his wife. If I'd have been her and wasn't going to wire him no more than that, I wouldn't have wired him nothing at all. All she said was, thanks, darling, for the check. Said the Iceman cashed it this morning. He's a good boy. Let's make him welcome. His name is Jerry. Sometimes we call him Burrhead Rivers. There he is. Now here's a young man that we borrowed from Lou in his outfit that is one of the finest bass players that we've run into in a long time. He's about the first one we've met in about the last 6 months that could play as bad as we could or as good as we could, one of the two, I don't know which. But anyhow, he stays with us. That's one thing. We played the West Coast for 3 weeks, and we ain't found one yet that could stay with us. He either left us or we left him, one of the two. Who's that you gonna get married to? Laura? Laura? Tuffy wants me to sing you a pretty song. Because he is figuring on engaging your hand in marriage. Next week? Next week? Next Sunday. Well, sir, all the things I could tell you, but it wouldn't do you no good. I'll never will forget the morning I started to get married. The old man called me in the back room, and he had a double-barrel shotgun, had both barrels cocked. He said, boy, he said, I'm fixing to kill you. I said, for what? He said, you fixing to get married, ain't you? I said, yeah. I said, you ain't gonna kill me on my wedding day, are you? He said, yes, sir. I said, I'm gonna blow you in two right now. I said, why? He said, well, he said, if I kill you now, he says, you'll die quick. He says, if I let you get married, you'll sort of ooze out, huh? This boy does. He plays awful fine bass. We're awful glad to have had him put up with us today. Let's give Tuffy a great big hand. Would you do that, huh? That's his name, Tuffy. You better stand over here. He's liable to take one of them cauliflower ears off of you in a minute there. There ain't no telling. And friends, until I see you again, I'd like for you to keep one thing in mind. If you'll sort of follow this thought, it'll help you sometimes, I know. Don't ever worry about nothing, because there ain't nothing going to be all right nohow. You can count on that. So, good night here. Bye.